Hello, you are welcome back. Yes, so we are still on the matters of secrets of the night, and this is episode 7 by Precious Obialor-Ukazim. She missed me, he thought as his face suddenly beamed with smiles. Me, I won't smile, oh, this is suspicious, man. All of a sudden. Okay. Oh, my love, I am so sorry for coming back this late. You know the nature of this our business can be very demanding. Some white men came down to Nigeria yesterday evening for a business, and I needed to stay and monitor everything from the beginning to the end. So, my dear, that is what kept your husband this long, but I'm back now. Why are you still awake? He asked her, feeling relaxed that she's finally being friendly. How do you expect me to sleep when my husband is out there? She asked. Omo, what? God, are you people surprised at all? Okay, you shouldn't have let that bother you, my darling wife. That is just the nature of my job, he explained, moving closer to pull her into his arms. Welcome, she told him, then turned her back on him, going to lie down to sleep. He waved that aside, as the first statement she made when he entered the room kept echoing in his head. It made him happy, and what made him more joyful was the fact that Imnanya, for the first time ever since she was lying down on the bed, didn't shift so far away from him. This must be Ejike's handiwork. What a smart boy, he said in his heart, then smiled broadly, changing into his nightwear. Very early the following morning, Ejike and Adama had their baths and were set for the journey back to the village, since it's going to be a long journey, and Ejiofor gave them huge amounts of money. Ejike, take this, give this to our mother, and this one is for Papa. He gave Ejike bundles of money for their parents, then continued, this one is for you. When you finish your final exams, pack your things and come over to prepare yourself for further education. Don't stay back in the village doing nothing, he instructed Ejike, giving him his own money. Where's Adama? Call her, he requested, and Ejike went to call her immediately. Good morning, sir. Adama came, greeting. Ejike said you asked to see me, she added. Yes, I called you. Please give this to your mother and tell her to start up a business with it to support you and your siblings alongside the farming. Tell her to stop stressing too much. And one more thing, I believe you're Ejike's classmate, right? He asked, and she nodded in the affirmative. That is good. Please take good care of yourself and always remember that there's a great future ahead of you. Once you finish writing your final exam, you are free to come around. Let's know what your plans are for the future. I will support you, okay? He assured her, and she thanked him on her knees. Meanwhile, Ihunanya was still sleeping. Ejike, for those 2 bags of rice in the car, 1 bag of rice belonged to Oriza, that old woman behind Mama Chukwuka's house, and the second one is for Adama's mother. The other items are for her mother and mother-in-law. You should share them equally when you get home and take their own to them. He instructed his younger brother after Adama had gone back to the room. When they were ready, Ihunanya came out to bid them farewell while Ejiofor went to drop them at the motor park in his car. When he returned from dropping them off, he wanted to have a nice time with his wife, and on entering the house, he went and crossed his hand on Ihunanya's neck and held her for a cuddle, but her countenance was sad. You aren't happy, what's the problem? Or are you missing your friends already? Ejiofor asked, smiling. I am fine, she replied him, still wearing a sad face. Okay, do you know what? I'll be taking you out with me today. I will take you first to my company and introduce you to my friends. Then afterwards, I will take you to somewhere very cozy so we can have fun. Is that okay? He asked her, and she just nodded coldly. Cheer up, cheer up. He tried playing with her, but she found it even irritating. Ew. Just as promised, Ejiofor took her out in the afternoon and introduced her to his friends and employees, after which they went somewhere cozy to eat and have fun. And from that day on, they both began to get along gradually, though he was still bearing with many of her nasty attitudes. He came back home one evening, and Ifunanya complained of having headache and fever. Oh, so sorry, my dear. I'll just call the doctor. Ejiofor was still talking and she called him. What for? You want to call the doctor to come and treat me because I complained of headache? I have taken tablet and that is okay for me, she told him. Are you sure? Are you sure you'll be fine? He asked, feeling concerned, and she nodded in response. At 4 a.m. the following morning, Ejiofor started feeling horny and started touching Ihunanya, his wife, but she brushed his hands off her body and turned her back on him. My love, he called in a whisper, drawing closer to her and still touching her. Oh, what is it again? Ihunanya blurted out. Dear, I'm sorry for disturbing you. I just want to know how you are feeling now, he explained cunningly. I am I am not yet fine, thank you, Ihunanya replied. Sorry, my love. Are you sure you don't need the doctor? He asked her, but she didn't answer him and went back to bed, but couldn't sleep as it was very hard down there. He was just turning from one side of the bed to the other, and a few minutes later, he drew close to her again and started feeling her temperature while treading carefully to know if she would say something, but she didn't. Your temperature is now normal, he said, but she didn't respond, even though she was very much awake. He drew closer and laid his hand on her body, then waited carefully to see if she would react, but Ihunanya pretended to be fast asleep. He was trying to turn Ihunanya to himself when she finally spoke up. Don't you have human sympathy? You know that I'm sick, yet this is what you want to do. Where is your conscience? She asked him, looking very upset. Okay. I'm sorry, my love. But you know I've waited enough. I have tried. Please make me a happy man this night. Ejiofor begged her like a child. Chai. I'm feeling for himself. But I will not cry. Let's just watch this girl do next. Let's watch what she will do next.